People have been making music for a very long time, probably beginning with the voice and proceeding to simple rhythmic drumming, hitting a log with a stick or banging a rock with a club and blowing a blade of grass or a conch shell. Since these humble beginnings, there has been an explosion in instrument making, accompanied by the rise of the composer, particularly over the past 6 centuries. Musical instruments. The very earliest evidence of music is provided by the remains of instruments. Clappers, flutes, and drums have survived from before the last ice age, and these are the ancient ancestors of the thousands of musical instruments used in the world today. The book begins with an exploration of the history of music making and the orchestra, presenting a general history of musical instruments, how they sounded, and the kinds of music they were used for. The musical instruments of previous ages and different cultures have much to say, not only about music, but about social patterns, technology and skills, ritual and religion. Even when they are not being played, musical instruments have a strong aesthetic appeal, which stems from their perfect blend of form and function. They are often lovingly made and beautifully decorated, with satisfying, round-edged shapes and smooth surfaces that demand to be touched. Those who play them become deeply attached to them as the emotions expressed in music flow through them. The Encyclopedia of Musical Instruments describes each family of instruments in detail: strings, woodwind and brass, percussion, and keyboards, ending with a wet, the voice, as well as the standard, orchestral instruments, folk traditional instruments from the world, the precursors of modem instruments, and those that have fallen into disuse are featured. There are plenty of folk tales and myths that tell of instruments with supernatural powers: warning drums, magic flutes, diabolical violins, and pianos that play themselves. There is no doubting the magic of music, and musical instruments have a share of it. The great composers. Owing to the invention of systems for writing down music in medieval times, scholars have added to their study of musical instruments a knowledge of composition methods and styles, and how these developed over the centuries. Beginning with the discussion of the first written musical notation, dating from the 9th century AD, Comparison Through the Ages provides a survey of the principal milestones in the history of musical invention, culminating in the new and sometimes unusual sounds of the 21st century. Within such a long period of development and innovation, some composers have stood out as having defined or developed particular styles of composition, or have created for themselves a significant place in music history. Lives and Works of the Great Composers covers the lives and times of the individuals who are seen as the most preeminent in Western music: Bach, Haydn, Mozart, Beethoven, Tchaikovsky, Wagner, and Stravinsky, to name but a few. The book ends with a look at contemporary composers, such as Philip Glass, Arvo Pärt, and Thomas Aids, with the promise of many exciting new developments extending well into the future. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this audiobook, don't forget like, comment, share, and subscribe. See you next episode.